Since federal money is involved in the project, will this ultimately mean that federal government will have control of local police?
No, definitely not. The purpose of the act, and also the responsibility of the state, is to enable all segments of law enforcement to plan for their own needs, what they need locally. And the governor and the Criminal Justice Council has the responsibility of the overall statewide plan. But the needs, the functions of the law enforcement, more particularly the police, will be strictly locally controlled. And the act itself recognizes that crime is a social problem, and it is also a local problem. So the idea is to strengthen and improve local law enforcement.
Time of death, although of critical importance, was left to the decision of a physician. This approach is consistent with present practice and was felt to be necessary in view of the constantly changing criteria of death effected by the rapid advancement of medical sciences. It was felt, however, that in the best interest of the donor and of the transplanting physician, a provision should be included preventing the physician who certifies the death of the donor from being a participant in the transplantation itself. Finally, immunity from liability is given to a physician acting in good faith in accordance with the provisions of this act. We're not going to disturb, we're not going to try to tell a doctor how to practice medicine. And we're convinced that the great medical profession already is conscientious enough to determine on their own, through their own practices, what determines death. All we're saying in the law is that before a heart to be extracted for transplant, that it be certified by a physician. And that physician must not be a part of the transplant team.
Well, another Wednesday has safely passed, and still the Texas Supreme Court has issued no ruling which would halt 7-day operation by department stores. So it appears that Christmas shoppers in the Dallas-Fort Worth area will have another field day this Sunday, but not at Seminary South. Vice President William Callahan said today that his group would not break the law and then attempt to justify their efforts by saying they were trying to change the law. J.W. Dawson and a group of residents of the Como area on Fort Worth's west side protested plans by the school board to move 39 families in order to facilitate expansion of school facilities. School officials contacted today, however, indicated there was little hope that the plans would be changed. Preliminary judging is underway in Fort Worth in the $50,000 7th annual Cutting Horse Futurity. More than 200, in fact about 230 of the country's top cow ponies will be judged tonight and tomorrow for final competition, which comes up during the weekend. Dell, you're getting to be pretty much an old hand at this sort of thing. This is your second Pecan Bowl in a row and 4 out of 5 postseason clashes of this nature. Of course, you got a lot of new people out there. Who are you going to be counting on most in Saturday's game?
Well, I'm sure the coach is going to say he's counting on the 22 players that'll be starting on offense and defense. For those people who seek out the key people, the superstars, we have 2 first-team Little All-American ball players out there. We have a junior halfback, Paul Hatchet. He'll be number 20. He scooted for 1,200 yards this season, scored 19 touchdowns, ran back a 94-yard kickoff return, did a lot of things for us, had a rather remarkable season. We have a senior defensive tackle, Jim Fergie, who is a 2-time Little All-American, last year at a linebacker, this year at the defensive tackle spot, and we'll be counting on him to stop some of those fine Arkansas State backs.
Your team has a pretty impressive record for the past few years. How about recounting some of that for us?
I'd be happy to, Jerry. We finished an undefeated season this year at 9-0 and won our 5th consecutive North Central Conference championship. This was unprecedented in the 45-year history of the league. Last season we were 9-0, and the previous season under the same coach 8-2.
Dallas, through its local school board and through the Texas Education Agency, may now begin to plan for a vastly extended vocational or occupational training program. I believe many more of the high school boys and girls and many of the young people who will go to the junior colleges in this area will find readily available or more readily available specific occupational preparation.
Are you familiar with any of Dr. Nolan Estes' programs? Do you think that he will be particularly interested in any special area?
I think Dr. Estes, and I have known him from our joint experience in Washington, will be quite interested in the occupational preparatory programs, or that is background programs in the field of general education in the upper elementary grades, the junior high school grades, and even the senior high school grades, leading up to specific occupational skills and preparation, which can be undertaken in the high schools or the junior colleges of the area.
But don't you think there's going to have to be a more precise legal definition of when death occurs?
I doubt it very seriously, inasmuch as I don't think it's the legislature's position to get in the practice of medicine.
Would this break new ground in the country? Could this be a model, perhaps, for other states to use or work from?
It will definitely be a model, inasmuch as Texas is the leading entity, whether it be country or state, in organic transplants presently. We are the world's leader. And a lot of states are looking at Texas to see what we are doing. There has been some communication from other states. Please let us know when you, in fact, have a law.